And today on the Mic Downs page, we're talking about sound effects, in particular the BBC sound effects, where there are 16,000 of the things that have become available. This text you're seeing on screen will be looked at a little bit later, but the important thing is that you can use 16,000 effects. So how did I know about this? Well, I woke up this morning in my Cyberlink PowerDirrector app and we saw a message here where there are 16,000 completely free audio effects that you can use. I think it sounds altruistic, but also a bit weird in a way that Cyberlink PowerDirrector should start advertising BBC's clips inside its own app and saying they're free. I think when you actually click here to get sound effects, it opens the BBC website, but still, I didn't know about it and now I do, so that's got to be a good reason. When you do open up the site at the BBC Sound Effects, acropolis.org.uk, you get something like this, which I'll demo in a second or two. Now, the important thing here is about sound effects, is that you could, of course, like our fella here, Irv Tybell, go out in the 1970s in Britain, I think he was an American, and record sound effects. You can see he's got a little old school tape machine with this wire goes up and you've got a microphone in a tree. That's how he did it. I could record my own using my Zoom H1 here, and there is my actual Zoom H1 literally in a field. Now you could do it yourself. If you don't want to do it yourself, then you could get free clips elsewhere. So I've made two previous videos talking about Cyberlink PowerDirrector, and we can see up here there are people, transportation, etc. You'll find it on PowerDirrector Android app 14 and also 13 in my set. Moving on again, you can find, and this is another previous video I did on the YouTube audio library sound effects, which sometimes aren't that great. I did one where I took down or saved a sound effect with a woodpecker. It was very, very quiet. Then I placed it into Audacity and increased it, and at that point there was quite honestly thousands of clips to choose from. And bottom right on screen, where I'm just circling with a laser pointer, that is the YouTube audio library sound effects. Have a good look through. The URL will be in the description as well as bottom left. Moving on again, what we find here is that this slide is showing, the teacher in me to say, look, if you are hungry and you go out looking at a marketplace for a hot dog stand, or if this guy's doing chestnuts or whatever it is, it's easy because he might be the only stand there. And if you're going to direct someone, you say, yeah, the guy is near the church and he's underneath like a parasol here, which is red and white stripes. That looks pretty simplistic to find it. And the reason I'm talking about hot dogs and things is that a bit like audio clips, if you and I was actually presented with this in real life once. I went down to Newquay in Cornwall. My friends got there early and the chap at the guest house said, oh yeah, your friends are here, they've just gone down to the beach. It literally took me 3.5 hours to find my friend, or friends as they were playing football, on the beach somewhere. So what I'm trying to get at is, if you had said yes, you could find your hot dog stand or sweet chestnuts or wherever underneath the parasol, which is red and white stripes, you could be looking and looking and looking. And the reason I say this about choice over the internet, and especially audio clips with 16,000 clips that we can now search for and interrogate, is an old story that I tell in this way. There was a book written in 1944, I think, The Library of Babel, where my version goes is that there is a civilization where there is a threat to all the books. So they build this huge library and they put all the books inside the library for safekeeping. And that is absolutely fantastic, because all the local people there are absolutely elated that they've saved all their books in the whole planet, the world, the civilization. Then it turns immediately to suicidal despair because someone realizes they've got all these books in the library, but they can't find what they're looking for. In other words, their theory is that one book in there might be the index to all the others. And you can see that you've got these things. And if you look in the modern day, we've got Google, we've got library databases to find these things only when they work. So what I'm getting at with the BBC clips is that if we go and we say to listen to all 16,000 BBC clips just for the first 10 seconds, it would take a single person 5.5 days to listen to them all. And even then they've got to remember them, or, you know, after they search. 8 hours a day, 5.5 days, that's impossible. So what I'm trying to get to here is when we're going to have a look at this particular database, top right here, to just before the demo starts, and that is, how can you view all 16,011 tracks on the database? Can you look at them by category, keyword, or any other factor to figure out some common sense for it? Because looking at pictures is one thing, it's quite nice and easy, they're visual. Listening to audio clips is really, really difficult sometimes. So that was the slideshow part of it. Just a reminder, and I'll do the reminder on the actual live site, and that is, this is the live site, the BBC sound effects. Now, according to this up the top here, and I think this was around the 20th of April that it was made available. Let me just make it a little bit bigger for people so they can see it. And quite honestly, there's no point in me doing a lot of demo, you can do it yourself. This is a heads up video. So in other words, in this database there are 16,000 clips. It says that they are BBC copyrighted, and they can be used for personal, educational, or research purposes. If you want to click through, there is a data set that quite honestly I can't seem to work or understand because I may not have skill set for it. And there is also a commercial sound effects part there, which seems to be about $5 a clip. Quite interesting to use that site. So what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to come back off of here just for a moment, and just bring it down to something sensible, that'll do. So if we go in to look at it, we know that there is 16,000, and what I encourage people to do is look at the bottom of the database, because a moment right at the bottom there it says showing 1 to 25 of 16,011. And what I did earlier on in preparation to this, I put the word beach in. As you type BEACH, the database will whiz through and narrow down that search. So and I will hit enter just in case I haven't loaded. I think I have. Then going down to the bottom, what we now see, let me make it a little bit bigger for everybody, including me. Right, there you go. So remember, there were 16,011. So now we've gone down to 18 results. Hit keyword of beach. If we wanted to look at the one, say, with the beach and the children, remember I had a beach shot earlier, play it. And then we can actually download it as a WAV form, and that hits your hard drive. Done. That's it really. Oh, I've done it. I didn't realize I was going to do that, but you can see that the WAV file has come down. Interesting. Now that's a reason why I was going to do that as well. Now if you look on dead center here, what you'll notice, let me put that there, and that is beach plus children is the description of the track. 29, what's that mean? Don't know. 29 seconds long. But when it downloads, look, it comes in as 00008013. I'm going to copy that, and the reason is if you bring a clip down to your hard drive and then see that you don't know what it is because it's a number by it, okay, that is such as life. So if you go back to the very, very top, let's go to the top of the database, and then we can wrap up in a second or two. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh this because I just want to reset the database. And then if we go through, and you'll see this little blue bar that kind of like loads itself, that'll do. And then what I'm going to do is just scroll down a little bit, and please feel free to leave me and everybody else a comment, and I'm going to put in there, and you can see immediately the moment I hit paste, I go down to beach plus children, and it's searchable by the actual number, which is really, really useful. If you actually go back for a final thing here, and honestly, there are absolutely, I mean, there's no point in me saying there are tons of clips, because you know that, because there's 16,011 of the things, and so some of them are just awesome. Look at this, 8mm projector. Oh, love it. You know, this is, you know, audio podcast making, video making, you know, whatever you wish to. Incredible. Now, what else can we say? I don't think we should say anything else. All I was going to say is that you've got category engines, look. So, you know, this is really about choice and such hard choices, which is why I shared the, you know, the guy in the, you know, the town square with one set of food easy to find with millions of people on a beach. You got 16,000 tracks to get through here. I put keyword here of engines. I go down here on the BBC site, what recorded from maybe 1920 onwards, I think it said. The keyword of engines is 404, 404. I went earlier on and I was looking for some birds of prey, and I put in, let's say, yeah, just put in bird. Hit enter, probably isn't needed. Let me just turn that off at the bottom right. And I've gone down to bird, go down to the very bottom of it, and it says 348 bird. How can we categorize this better than this? One of them is that if you go through to commercial use, and not that I want to, but it actually loads this thing called downloadprosoundeffects.com, and you'll see that when it actually opens up, the BBC Complete opens up at 28,892 clips. Bear in mind that's 12,000 over what BBC have made free. And then if I went in, and this is the bit where I tried to do like for like, and if I went in and said beach children, I've got a feeling that it was a 29-second track which was free on the other database, and when I come down here there are only 4 children playing, children, it doesn't say beach. So I don't know, but then when you see, this is the thing, file name is this children playing. When you go over to the right, beach, crowded, children playing. I think there's something in here very easily. I'm looking to do educational, personal use. It looks like if you wanted this track here to pay for it, then it looks like it's a $5 shopping cart. Shall we leave it there, I think, and go back to the simple part, and that is that there's a lot of choice here. Good luck with it. Leave me a comment and have a discussion.